Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Uh, am I on the right mic?
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, it automatically picked up the right audio interface. All right, Zoom, you did something right for a change.
You sound a little echoey though, but you're on the right
Yeah,
mic.
yeah, because I'm in the office, man.
Ah, with no furniture.
Exactly, with no furniture, no carpet, nothing on the walls. It's just echoey.
Yeah. You're gonna have to change that. Just saying.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. I'm gonna put up some. I want to get a rug in here, probably on my floor for sure. But I'm definitely gonna also put up some sound paneling and stuff like that in here too, because this is where I'm going to attempt to record from 90% of the time. Especially if I'm home. The only time I really intend on not recording up here is when I'm not here, like I'm not physically in Cottondale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta change it, man. I can hear it. So like, for everybody right now that is annoyed by it, just know I'm more annoyed by it than you are. I can
They're probably not
guarantee
even
you.
gonna notice, honestly. You
Just
know why?
ask Mike. Oh, because Mike's gonna run it through
Alphonic.
Deverb
No,
on
Alphonic. Alphonic has Deverb built in now.
on all right. Oh, they finally got it. Okay.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
deal.
You can take 100% of the reverb out or just a percentage of it. So they did it pretty good.
Well, cool. That's actually helpful because that's one of the reasons I would always be looking at RX, Isotope RX, is because like, oh, that Deverb was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, listen. So I'm in the office, which every time I said, "Oh, I'm going to record at the office, Mike," it's going to sound a little screwy at first, but I'm going to do it. This never happened. So I feel like May for me, and I'm going to do my best not to allow June not to be this month, but May for me was a month of not planning to do shit.
Mm.
Because
so
every
you're
time I
planning to
plan,
have. Oh.
no, every time I plan something would get in the way. Something would blow up. Something wouldn't work right. Somebody wouldn't do something they were supposed to do, or I would have to go run off to deal with a problem over here. Just nothing went as planned for the month of May.
Mm.
Oh, you thought I was saying I didn't plan to do anything? No.
No.
Oh no, man, I had a lot
You
of
had
plans.
a whole plan of stuff ready to go, and nothing happened.
I had a whole bunch of plans, man, because I moved into the first building and I was like, all right, I gotta go because like I ain't got time to be sitting around doing nothing. I gotta get the space outfitted. I gotta do all this stuff. I gotta make sure money's coming in so I can pay the bills when they come due. And yeah, like the only thing that went right. Well, I ain't gonna say the only thing that went right. That's a little exaggeratory is not the word that I'm looking for. But it's kind of like that anyway. People know what I mean. I don't say the only thing that right. But one of the major things that happened is that I got, I think I talked about this on the show. I went to my landlord, was like, man, I'm a little tight in there. If you got something come open, just let me. He's like, I got a perfect spot.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. He actually wasn't, he wasn't bull crapping me, man. Like, so for the sighted listeners here, you might not quite, track this as well as I think the blind people will track this. But oftentimes you can get in a space and that the space, like the room that you're in or the building that you're in is big. Like, the space is big, but you have to walk around it a few times before you really, and you got to start putting stuff there before you really fully grasp how much space it is.
Right.
Man,
Right.
I got a ton of space up here in the front. Like, so here was my big concern when I moved in here, because I was thinking like, oh, it's kind of half split, because there's a warehouse space in the back, which, think of what I call the warehouse space. Think of that as like a typical storage unit. Like, you go rent a storage unit. There's no air conditioners, just your random old, metal storage building with a roll-up door, right? That's what the warehouse space is like in the back. And initially walking through it, because there was so much stuff in here that they had to move out when I first walked through it, it's like, oh yeah, that's enough space because I got room back here, I got room up there. That's enough space. I can stretch that out. That'll work. No problem. But I'm thinking the building is like split in half. Like half of it is that warehouse,
Right.
storage room, and half of it is up here where there's AC already. And I was like, man, I may end up having to talk to the guy about what it's going to cost to get some duct work run and cut some vents, to put back there in the back. Cause like, I got to have, like, nobody want to work back there like that. And I need air conditioning. So as I'm moving stuff in last weekend, I'm like, oh, got a ton of space. But I went ahead with my plan. I put certain stuff back there in that space, and I put stuff up here because I'm like, oh, that'll be enough space and it'll just be separated.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I get everything in here. And I'm like, man, I still got a ton of space up here. Oh, I can move this up here. Man, I still got a ton of space. I can move this up here. So now all of my product is up here in the front, where's air conditioning. So my drinks.
No, keep going. Your drinks.
Oh, my drinks, my chips, my pastries, my chips, all of that stuff is all up here on shelves or on racks or sitting on pallets. I still got a ton of room. I can still get lost in here. And like when I say lost for people, I don't mean like literally I don't know where I'm at, but I can think I'm going this direction. And if I get off angle just a little bit, I end up somewhere. It's like, oh, I'm over here by the sink. That's not where I was trying to go. I was trying to go over there.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's still enough open space in here that can still happen.
So what are you going to do with all that space? Like, do you need that much product on hand?
Because part of it is that it's spread out. So the way my chips are, for example, is like let's say I go to my supplier in Birmingham, I pick up an order. I got 30 boxes of chips. Well, what I'm doing is I'm actually taking those boxes of chips as I get ready to use them, opening them, and just dumping each box into its own separate storage container. And then that's what we're packing up the containers that we're taking out to fill machines with, right? Same thing for candy. The only thing I haven't done that with yet, just as of yet, is pastries, and that's just lack of like how would I actually store those, because you got to kind of be, you don't want to smash your honey buns with honey buns stacked on top of honey buns, so I leave them in the box mostly. So that's one thing. All of my sodas, my bottle sodas and my cans are all sitting on racks or pallets at the moment because I got to buy more racks, but they're separated so that eventually what I'm going to be able to do when I have time to do it and I get the necessary material is I'm going to be able to braille label above a section what this soda is on the wall. So I'll know this is Coke, this is Diet Coke, this is Coke Zero, that's Cherry Coke, and I won't have to try to hold that in memory as to what order my sodas are in, right? The other thing of that, though, if there's a spot empty on that rack and somebody is putting sodas there, they know where they're supposed to go. So we don't run into that issue of like, well, damn it, that's supposed to have been Cherry Coke right there, because that's what I remember from the past 2 years is Cherry Coke was sitting right there and you don't put a damn Coke Zero there. Now everybody that wants Cherry Coke is drinking Coke Zero and they mad at me.
Yep.
So
because this is tech and technically working, my question is, have you considered a tool like Navilens now that you have access to the whole area where you're putting stuff and that you can control that whole labeling? Or are you just gonna, and I don't say just in a negative way, are you planning on falling back to Braille just because you don't have to rely on tech then?
I'm just going to do Braille.
Okay. Gotcha.
Partially because I'm going to have to make a print label also. So what I'm going to do is make little cards, like some card stock, and have the name of the soda or whatever the product is written there. And then also have Braille on that same label. But just because it's simple and it works and I don't have to, that's quicker than having to pull out a phone to do a thing, right? And I don't, just like you, I don't frown upon people who are doing that, because that may be the way that you know how to do it. You may not be a Braille reader.
Yep.
I've been doing this Braille thing for almost 40 years. Don't tell nobody. So
it's reliable. It works.
It's just
you
quick.
Know what you're getting.
Yeah. Well, and it's just quick, right? Like to me, there's a lot of things that I am going to choose to do that are going to be different from, I would say, a person that is newly blind. Or a person that grew up later in life to meet it, that was given nothing but technology to resolve their problems. Because we've had conversations on this show before too about sometimes the sighted community thinks when a piece of technology comes out that says it does a thing for blind people, oh, well, that just solves all the or it does a feature that will be helpful to blind people. Oh, Well, that'll help. That's awesome. Now you don't need blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you still
I'm
need to
going to
know
go tell
how to
every
use your
blind
cane.
person I know about this. And you happen to be the one blind person.
It's like, oh, well, have you tried using the meta glasses to read your product boxes? Yeah. Do you know how slow the meta glasses take to respond
Right.
sometimes? I don't have that kind of time, man. Listen, I'm impatient. On top of not having all that kind of time, I'm also impatient. So, all that being said, like, there's going to be a lot of tech in here. Don't worry, but we'll get to it as it happens. I'm trying to right now prioritize what needs to be purchased first versus what can wait. And, you know, of course, obviously the first thing that has to be purchased is internet equipment because I got to actually get decent internet up here. I'm using cellular modem, by the way. So if it gets real choppy, that's what's happening.
I've done conventions with Hotspot before, so I have faith in it. I have more faith than others probably would.
I have faith in it because I did two things. One, I've been using this up here to do computer work, like things on the computer, and it's better. And I also figured out that if I move the actual router itself closer to the front of the building, where it's right there near a window, my signal got better.
And which router do you have again? Remind us.
Oh my God. It is the GL-I.net. Mike just wanted me to say all this crap.
No, that's interesting. Hold on. Take a pause here. So this router, does it have cellular on it? Like it's cellular?
Yeah, you put a SIM card in it.
Okay, we've talked about this before, but I didn't put two and two together. Is this the model of that particular router that has built-in tailscale?
Yes.
Okay. How difficult did you find it to set up?
The router itself?
Yes.
Not very difficult because what I did is I took a working SIM card at the time, which I took out of the blind shell that had data. I stuck that in. I connected to it over Ethernet from my computer. So I wouldn't have to worry about the Wi-Fi password, even though it was written on the bottom of the label. But you know.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'll take that back. No. With this one that I'm using right now, I actually did use the Wi-Fi connection. So what I did with this one, when I set it up, I was at home with it. So what I did with it is I used Ira AI. I called Ira AI.
Okay.
And had it read the password off to me. And I had it repeated several times so I could type it down because it was like, I cannot send it to you in a message. That would be a cool feature, Ira, if you could, if the same way that agents can email or message stuff to us, if the AI could do that. And kind of get maybe why you didn't want to hook it up to your email right away, but you know. But anyway, I got the password written down. I went to connect to the Wi-Fi network and it said, nope, that's wrong. So we went back over it again. I was like, well, hey, are any of these letters capital? Because it didn't distinguish that and I didn't think about it. But suffice to say, I used AI call to get the password for the Wi-Fi off the bottom of the router, connected to its default address, and well, once I was on its Wi-Fi, I connected to its default address and I went in and just configured it. And it basically steps you through it. The first thing it makes you do is set an admin password, which I was like, nice, good deal. There's no default admin password to get in or something. And then from there, I just kind of configured it. I changed the Wi-Fi name and did all that stuff. And at that point, it was just kind of a basic router setup up until I got to getting it online. So I did connect it to one of my home networks. That I use for testing random stuff that I'm not sure about. And so it can, this particular router, and a lot of the travel routers like this can do this, but this particular router will let you, you can use it in bridge mode. So basically you connect it to a Wi-Fi and then it rebroadcasts its own Wi-Fi or whatever for you. You can do it like that. You can do it over USB. You can do it over Ethernet, or you can do it over cellular. And it's almost prioritized in order the way that I just said that. Okay. So let's say, for example, I'm in bridge mode and I have a Wi-Fi network at a hotel, for example, and I connect my router to it. So then everybody can just connect to my, wireless network.
Yeah.
And I got Tailscale and all of that stuff going. even if I have cellular in there, as long as that bridge Wi-Fi connection is working, it's not going to fall back to
Not going
cellular.
to touch on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Now, how does that work with captive portals? Or have you done this yet? Because I imagine you connect it to Wi-Fi and then you do the captive portal, and then anything you connect to your Wi-Fi should be good to go.
Yeah, that's the way it should work, but I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
This summer. It wasn't hard to set up at all, though. It was actually pretty straightforward. Good. Yeah, so that's what I'm using. That has a SIM card in it. It actually has dual SIM, so I put a AT&T SIM and a Dark Star, because it's on US Mobile, so it's a Dark Star SIM.
Right. They got all the fancy, cool names.
And a Warp SIM, which is Verizon, in there. And it will, I configure it, and I think I configured it well enough that it will switch to whichever one is the stronger network, depending on, where I happen to be at. And that's what I'm using. That is attached to a data pool that has 10 gigs of data. I have not went through that data cap yet. We'll see what happens.
Curious, and you don't have to tell me all your guys' secrets, so tell me, let's move on to something else. But is a plan to use something like that at different conventions so you could just use your own Wi-Fi and keep control over that, or had you thought about that?
So I have a travel router that I got that I haven't talked about yet, and I'll talk about it once I actually get to use it a little bit more.
Okay.
That I do plan to take to convention and attempt to do that. Okay. Mostly because sometimes the Wi-Fi can be spotty depending on how the setup is in convention halls.
Yep.
And the last thing you want is we can't complete your checkout because there's no internet.
But we actually completed it, but we didn't get the information. So let us charge you again, and then you'll come back to us and tell us that you actually charged me twice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you've been down this road before, Mike.
A time or two. Yeah. And privacy reasons.
Yeah, that too, because who knows what's going on their stuff. But I haven't floated that idea out there officially or anything. It's like I'm going to do some testing with that router over this month, and kind of play with it and see how that works. And I also we'll have the cellular data to just fall back to if the Wi-Fi is crappy. So that's my plan, just to ensure that we all have good Wi-Fi. So if you happen to be at a convention, whether it's NFB or ACB, and you are browsing around for Wi-Fi and you see a network that says Porcupine on the move, that would be mine, and I would advise you not to. Yeah, that's the point. Good luck getting in.
You'll probably need a UB key. Are you using UB keys?
Oh man, Mike knows me too well, so I'm not using the YubiKey to get on the Wi-Fi. Although I have considered setting up the enterprise connection Wi-Fi for, and the only reason I haven't done it is because it's like, man, I got to go set up a stupid Radius server. Anyway, yes, I actually am using so I still have YubiKeys, and I still use them for some things. Mostly they're still serving as two-factor. Now, what I actually have is a token 2 security key. And I bought one of these, and it's USB-C. They do sell USB-A models. They sell the little dongles that you put on your key ring, or they sell the ones you can stick in a computer and just leave it in. But I use those for storing passkeys. So even though I sync my passkeys through 1Password, I still use those hardware keys as like a backup for my passkeys.
Okay. So do you have to, and I only am excited about this is I logged into a financial services website today, and I was kind of surprised that they offered me the ability to set up a passkey. So of course I'm like, yes, let me sign up for a passkey. I'd really appreciate that. And so I signed up for it, and then I said, my passkey collection is like my passwords collection was in the early to mid 2000s. I have passkeys all over the place.
Oh man.
And I need to clean that up. So you're using 1Password to manage your passkeys because it's cross-platform, right? Or
yes.
Just because it's on everything?
No, because it's cross-platform. I mean, that's the main reason.
And then do you set up a secondary passkey with this device, or can you copy your passkeys from 1Password into this?
No, I set up just a second passkey with
Okay.
the security key.
And so you just plug it in and it saves it there automatically. Is that how that works?
Yep, basically. So you go in, if you follow that kind of flow with doing a passkey, and for the people who do it correctly, you would click on add new passkey.
Mm-hmm.
It will pop up and it will say, scan the QR code or use your security key, right?
Yep.
Click the security key button. It tells you put your security key in, you touch it, and then it saves it and you put a name on it in most cases, and then you're done. And then I'll have a security key. And I do that for two reasons. Number one, I believe in backups. Number two, there's the odd occasion, and usually it's something to do with Mac OS and its stupidity, where one password doesn't come up, like it can't trigger to come up because Apple's dialogue is jumping over it, or however that's working. Like one password never gets to come up. So my only option at that point would be to pull out my phone and scan the QR code. And I hate that. So that's when I'll just go to grab my security key and plug it in and hit use security key to authenticate to do the passkey, and then I'm in.
I kind of like that. It's something physical you have. You have to put it in, and then you authenticate yourself with it, and it eliminates a lot of that friction. I have noticed a lot more sites recently are using passkeys. Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, web developers and Passkey consortium. I don't really know if there is one, but I wouldn't be surprised because there's an emoji consortium. So thank you,
Fido.
everyone who is working together to make this more of a positive experience. And I think it's almost to the point where
it's nearly there. It is nearly there. The only problem is that we're still running into, and it's sort of like web standards, I guess because it is a web standard, but it's sort of like other web standards, like ARIA. Let's take ARIA for example, for the sighted people listening, because I truly believe we have sighted people to listen to our show. So for the sighted people that are listening, ARIA for us is like, think about when you're looking at a website and there's like a countdown timer, right? Yep. Now, you would look up and visually see the countdown timer. You have 2 hours and 37 minutes to place this order if you want to get it by Thursday. Type of thing. Now, there are 3 ways to handle this situation for a screen reader user. 2 of them are okay, and 1 of them is not. So one way
is not okay.
I'm going to tell you. So one way to handle it is, as I'm navigating the screen with my screen reader, I can read the timer, or I can read the countdown thing that says you have 2 hours and 36 minutes to place this order if you want to receive it by Saturday, right? So I can do that. I can read that and then continue on about my business. And if I am interested to know how much time I still have left on this thing before it's going to be too late, I can go back to that area of the screen and read it. That's one way of handling that. That is a perfectly okay way to handle that. Another way to handle this is it will periodically tell you, or you can press your keyboard, your keystroke on your keyboard for your screen reader, issue the command to make it read any live updating regions. That is also an acceptable way to do this. The way that you do not want to do this, and that is very problematic, is you go to the website, and as I'm trying to navigate and read the thing on the page that I maybe want to buy or check out or do whatever, I'm constantly being bombarded. You have 2 hours and 36 minutes and 44 seconds. You have 2 hours and 36 minutes and 43 seconds. You have 2 hours and 42 minutes and 36 seconds. And it just keeps counting down. Every time the second changes, it changes. Or every time the minute changes, it changes. Whatever is changing on the screen, it is being read, and it is overriding your screen reader's ability to read anything else on the page. It infuriates me. That is the wrong way to do it. Don't do that. I would rather you just put a static thing up there that updates occasionally, as opposed to that. Having the ability to hit whatever the keyboard command is, because I honestly don't know it. I have to look it up if I actually want to do it, which is almost never for me. I'm not saying for anybody else, but it's almost never for me. Anyhow, hence the reason I don't recall the keystroke, but I know it's possible to tell the screen reader to issue a command that it will read any live updating region. I was on a site, and I don't remember where it was, but it was something sort of official-ish. Like I actually needed to do this, and I'm like, I really want to buy this product. Oh, actually, I'm lying. I do remember where it was, and it wasn't kind of officialist. I just wanted to buy a product. So I just told a complete story. I'm sorry. It was Kickstarter. I have experienced this on like government sites of some sort. It may not have been a government site, but like a sort of.
It has. I know one that you're talking about. It has.
But
you're about to be logged out.
But the most recent time this happened to me is I was trying to back a Kickstarter project. And it really wanted me to know how much time I had left to back this project at this particular level before it was going to be gone. And it almost made it impossible for me to back the project. And I almost didn't back the project. Now, fortunately, I have been a screen reader user for a very long time. So on my rotor on iOS is the toggle live regions. I toggle live regions off. VoiceOver stopped reading that message to me every 2 seconds. And I was able to back the project that I wanted to back.
That's a smart move. I don't know that I have live regions on my rotor.
Well, it's not always been available either.
Okay.
It's one of those things where like every couple of years I go look at what's on the rotor and like, oh, they added this thing.
Yeah.
But going back to the point, passkeys are kind of like that. There is a right way. There are a couple of right ways, and then there's absolute wrong ways to do passkeys. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you 2 examples of places that are doing it wrong. And forgive me if this one place, PayPal, has changed their behavior. But initially, when passkeys rolled out and PayPal introduced passkeys, guess what you could do and guess what you couldn't do? You could sign in with a passkey from your phone.
But you couldn't from the computer?
But you couldn't from the desktop, from a browser on your computer. Nope, not at all. Not happening.
They have fixed that, but yeah.
Finally, why did you do it wrong?
It took them long enough.
Now, here's another example of somebody doing it wrong. Now, I have an Amazon account. You probably have an Amazon account. Everybody listening probably has an Amazon account. I think I actually have 2, or 3. I don't know. Anyway, I got Amazon accounts. Prior to passkeys existing, I had a username, a password, and a 2-factor code, right? Because I wanted my account to be secure. Like I didn't want people just logging in and randomly adding their addresses and shipping themselves expensive things on my behalf. Like I don't want people doing that. So I turned on 2-factor like you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, introduce passkeys. Amazon does not jump out there first. They're not one of the first companies. They were very early, to be fair, but they were not one of the first places to do it. I think Google and like GitHub are the first places I think I got passkeys. But Amazon did implement passkeys, and it was at a time, it was after Google had done this, so it had been done right. It had been demonstrated how you could do this right, where you had a system where you would have had a 2-factor code that you needed to put in, and now you don't need to do that anymore because you have a passkey. Well, I go to Amazon and I click the button, sign in with my passkey. And then I get to the next screen. It wants my 6-digit 2-factor code. Wait, what are we doing now? Why is this happening? I could see if I didn't go passkey route and I went to password and signed in using username, password, and then 2-factor code. That would make sense. Thank you for keeping my security in mind. But if I give you a passkey, that should be enough. If it's enough for Google,
it should be enough for you.
It's enough. That's the way it's supposed to work, though.
Yeah.
Now, the fallback, and here's where I think Amazon may have screwed up at, is the fallback, because there are instances where you cannot use a passkey, right? Like in a lot of these embedded browsers inside of apps and things like that, you can't use passkeys. You have to use your username and password. So at that point, you should still have to do 2-factor if you have 2-factor on. I've seen this with my Google account. Makes sense. Amazon just didn't handle that part where it says, oh, if passkey is used and successfully authenticated, then don't ask for the code.
Isn't it interesting how we start doing more coding, both with AI and others, and we're like, man, why don't they just solve this? They just go solve this with an if-else statement.
Yeah, it may not be the most elegant way to solve that problem, but it absolutely would solve that problem.
Yep. So we have... 9% until auto-compact. I need to stop working on more stuff in the same Claude AI session. We have a interesting day coming up Monday, and I am more interested in this than I have ever been in the past, and that is WWDC. And I'm only interested because I am not going to understand everything they're talking about. But when they start talking about doing certain things with programming, I'll be like, how can I make Earshot do that? Or, what other app can I put together that does that? So,
or how can I incorporate? Is that a feature I can use?
Right.
Do you hear this train?
No.
Okay.
Oh man, I was building the app today and I was doing something else in another terminal window. By the way, if you did not know, you can hit Command T to open a second terminal window, and then Command Shift left bracket and right bracket will jump you between those terminal windows. I did not know this until, I don't know, a month or two ago, and now it is part of my workflow all the time.
So that's the thing. It kind of works like your browser.
Yeah. Yep.
That is, I think, and I'm going to say this, it may not be true, but it's definitely one of the reasons that I like Mac OS's terminal, is because it has kind of some of the default behaviors that you expect in a browser window, even though it's not a browser window. So Command T will give you a new tab. Command N will give you a new window,
which means Command Grave Accent will switch between the windows. Yep. And I just learned that.
You could have tab groups of windows.
Uh-huh.
And if you want to go hack your file, whether it's bash or zhrc or whatever, your terminal config file, your shell's config file is, you can actually change what the title would be for those windows.
Oh, I ain't going to do that. I don't got time to do that. Hey, Claude, here's what I want you to do. Is that lazy, or is that using the tools that are available to you? Because
given how much time I've spent looking up those commands in the past to actually do certain things to my command prompt, I would ask the AI today too if I just didn't move my bash file every time I move computers. It's like, nope, copy this over to the hard drive. All right, copy it back over to the new computer.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Tell me a little about your terminal and how you've customized it over the years, or do you know? Because it's what you know now.
Yeah, like I don't actually know. Well, I actually do see how terminals work whenever I SSH to a server or something. Generally, like I don't have a ton of customizations in my terminal. One thing I have is case insensitive autocomplete. So like if you're typing ~/ DOW. If you want it to autocomplete with that tab, you have to capitalize your D. No, I'll just type DOW. I don't hit no shift. Because that's time.
Hold on. CD ~/ DOW. That's why it doesn't work. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you got to capitalize because it's case sensitive.
And see, the way I've fixed that is I've just made all my folders lowercase.
Yeah, but the default system folders that come built in
are capitalized.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Hey, I'm going to put Claude to work on that because, yeah. So, anything you specifically want out of Monday? Like, are you saying, man, Apple should do this? I know we have I kind of feel like, well, we do this every year or so, but I kind of don't really.
I have some things that I would like them to do. Like I have some specific features, and it's not really features. It's just more like continue working on the thing that you did last year.
Yes.
So the phone app, for example, there's lots of improvements that I would like to see them do in the phone app, with these silence controls. I feel that there has to be, in fact, I'm certain that there is, because when I registered Bedrock Innovations as a business and I went and got a VoIP MS number, I added that number to an actual database. I forget what it was called, but I went through a process so that number was registered to Bedrock Innovation. So when I would call people, back then when I initially did it, if you had an Android phone, and I called your number, it would show up and say Bedrock Innovations LLC. I think since now the iPhone now does that as well, but at the time Android was but I was planning for the future, right? And also didn't want people looking at this weird number and being like, what the hell? So they would see if I was not in your contacts, you would still know that there was a business calling. So being that database exists, it would be nice if with the send unknown callers to voicemail option, those sets of options had a bypass for what appeared to be a legitimately registered number from a business. So let's say the hospital is calling you, or let's say your Lyft driver is trying to call you, because Lyft probably has registered at least something somewhere, or they should if they haven't, right? Just to make this work. So that way I can continue to keep, spam calls going to spam. But when the Lyft driver is trying to call me, or when my Uber Eats delivery person is trying to call, they're like, where are you? Where's your house? I don't miss that call because I don't always think about the fact that my calls go to voicemail if you're not in my contacts. Like, they just go automatically to voicemail. And I also, with Uber Eats or something, kind of would expect the notification to come through the app, not for them just to, take the simple route, which I don't disagree with what they're doing. I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong, because I know how frustrating that can be. Sometimes I stop texting people and just call, like, listen, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
But come on, Uber, why not VoIP through the app? Why use the public switch telephone network? I've always wondered that.
That is a good question.
Like, that would get past the issues that we have. And
would it though?
I mean, you got notifications enabled.
Yeah, but
so you would get the notification that you have an incoming call coming in. You tap answer in Uber.
No. What you're thinking about requires call kit, which means it will be subject to whatever your rules were for calls.
Yes. Uber, you know what, Claude, you're going to solve this issue for Uber, and then Uber's going to hire me.
But what Uber could do is, and I'm pretty sure they have a list of, because they're always kind of random numbers, but it seems to me they generally have like a certain type of area code. Mm-hmm. I could not tell you what it is off the top of my head, but sometimes I can look at a call and be like, oh shit, I just missed my Lyft driver. Hold on, let me say it again. Sometimes I can look and be like, oh, I think I just missed a call from the Lyft driver or the Uber person or whatever, right? Because the numbers look the same. Uber could register a specific series of numbers, because if you just try to call it back randomly after the fact, after your session with them is done, it doesn't take you anywhere. So it's not like you're going to be able to call back, and females don't have to worry about weird dudes calling them back over the Uber number trying to harass them, which is why they use fake numbers to begin with. But they could register a set of numbers in this database so that, people knew, that Apple could tell and Google could tell that, hey, this is a business number. It's the same way that Google and it's sort of the same means by which Google and now Apple are using to mostly kind of determine what is potentially spam to begin with. Just do the reverse for a business. I'm all right if a call or two slips through. Cause I do understand how trivially easy it can be to spoof a number, but this would also put more pressure on the telecom companies to tighten up that loophole right there. But I would like that feature, so that if my phone is in do not disturb or is in send people to voicemail, I can have an exceptional, and make it optional. You don't have to let people do it. Some people don't want to talk to anybody. All right, fine. But give me an optional override that if a hospital is calling or a doctor's office is calling, right? And you can't just save the doctor's office number. I hear some of you people, if you're saying it, you never had to deal with it. You have a number you call to get to your doctor. Your doctor calls you back. They is not calling from the same number, even though they're calling from an office phone, because it's some internal number that they're calling out from. Like, it looks weird. It might be the same first 6 numbers, including area code, but then the last 4 is not going to be the last 4 that you dial. But it's the doctor's office, and there's no way you're going to save all the numbers, because you'll never get all of them. Because, one, that guy don't want you just, even if you call that number back, you ain't going to get straight to him. So, I feel like there's a way that they could solve that and make that better. Other than that, like, I don't really have any, I'm excited, hopeful to see what they're going to do with the AI. I want Apple to do what Apple has been so successful at doing in the past. And it's not because, partially it's because I'm an Apple user, to be fair, but also partially I feel like a lot of times Apple comes into a chaotic situation of products and they're like, no, you're doing it wrong. This is the product. This is the thing that people need. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, that's the thing that people need. And then they go do what Apple was doing, and then they iterate over that, and then we get, differences of shapes of phones and all of this stuff. But, I feel like Apple has done that a couple of times. I would like to see them do that with AI, so that it becomes a thing that not just me and you are sitting around and talking about, but they help solve the problem that every company basically is dealing with, and everybody outside of people like us directly, or people who are really thinking about it hard, are struggling with, which is, it's cool that it can do a lot of stuff, but what am I going to do with it? And I think Apple could productize AI in the phone in a way that would make sense to a lot more people. And I also think it would help settle down the market a little bit, because I think about the market a whole lot more than I used to. And it's settling down because all of this outrageous evaluations and spending on AI is, oh my God. Quick side conversation. So have you seen, I got this notification from, oh man, I need to go cancel that too before I get billed. But I got this notification from Perplexity because it's still on my phone. I don't ever actually open it unless I'm like, oh, I really need to find out more about that story that you just sent me a notification about. But with the high evaluations for OpenAI, SpaceX, is that what we're calling it? I can't remember if he changed, I know he merged everything together, but I can't remember if he changed the name. Is it just X?
Yep, I believe it's just X.
Or is it XAI or whatever Elon is about to take to IPO? And then the Anthropic IPO, along with the OpenAI IPO pending this year, they're about to drain a ton of money out of the market for people that want to try to jump on those IPOs and buy stock in early and ride that roller coaster up. It's projected they're about to drain about $240 million, or was it $1 billion, out of the crypto market.
Oh, wow.
Because people are going to be trying to, that's how much money is projected that people are going to be trying to liquidate, to take their Bitcoin or whatever their cryptocurrency is and turn it into money.
Stock.
Yeah, like they're going to need actual money so they can go buy into the stocks. They're about to do major damage to the market, man, is what I'm saying. Because the evaluations are just stupidly high. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like how, I don't get it. But anyway, nobody came here to hear us talk about stocks. And also we're not stock market professionals or trading professionals or any kind of financial professionals. So any conversations we have on this show do not reflect anything that we're advising you to do or anything that we may have done ourselves. Something like that. Yeah. Anyway, don't blame us and we ain't giving you no advice is what I'm trying to tell you.
Make your own choices.
In plain language, right? Yes. This is how, terms and conditions should actually read. Listen, we're going to have a conversation about a thing. It doesn't mean you should go do it. If you go do it, we're not sitting here telling you to do it and putting ourselves in the position as professional advisors. We're just having a conversation about what we did. Cool. All right.
You're responsible for your own actions. We're good.
I mean, you are, but I can also understand how you can feel like you're not.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Mike stepped on it if I could get it out. Okay. But other than being interested to see where Apple is going to try to go in the direction with AI in the operating systems, I'm curious what other features they may bring along. I'm interested in what they announce or what features they're pushing on that are going to indicate where they're going next. Like, are we actually going to get this folding phone this year? Am I going to buy this folding phone if it does come out this year? It's also a very good question that I don't have an answer to. But you don't think you want a folding phone?
I don't think I want a $2,200 folding phone.
Yeah, that might be a thing. That might be the thing that breaks it for me. Is that like I don't want to pay flip prices, no fold, Samsung, whatever fold
Z
prices
fold,
for it. Yeah,
fold,
whatever.
Z whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Even if you break it up over 24 months, it's still $100 a month for a phone. I don't know. I am interested to see if we actually get something decent for Siri. I think we are going to see interesting things with Siri and changes, hopefully. But I also feel like I said that last year. And then my other prediction is, and we'll see how it comes together. First of all, I will be on beta day one. I'm not even going to try to kid myself. I often say, I'm not going to be on beta first day one. And then I called Demasi that afternoon and be like, hey, can you hear me fine? I'm on beta. So I'm probably going to put it on my phone without any hesitations, unless someone else does it and they're like, hey, VoiceOver doesn't work or something. Again, beta software, not expecting Apple to do that. But I feel like with Apple's move into the lower cost MacBooks, that some love is going to be given to voiceover on the Mac. I could be 100% totally wrong, and they could go back to Tiger. Actually, going back to Tiger days might not be a bad idea. Anyways, so I feel like that if Apple wants to keep education happy, and if Apple wants to keep students from getting frustrated, either one of two things needs to happen. One, Apple needs to better document how to successfully do everyday tasks such as word processing and manipulating of documents, and provide that in a clear way for people to find it. Or two, they need to make VoiceOver be more consistent when doing those tasks. Or both. So
they should do both. Mm-hmm. They should absolutely do both. I will predict that we will see some improvements with Siri, and I also am going to predict, and that's kind of some of what the AI stuff is for me too. It's like, cause we're getting Google, backing this, and Google just released a model somewhere today. I kind of vaguely heard about it, and you go back and re-listen. But Google's doing interesting things with big and small models, and I think that is going to have a net positive effect for us as users, and also for Apple and its plans, potentially. Also am willing to predict that while they're going to show off features, I think they're going to be very careful about how much they show, and that they show that things are actually working. Like physically, here's a phone, or people are going to get hands on with this feature after WWDC because of 2 years ago. They're going to be a little squeamish. And also, not everything is going to hit as soon as 27.0 comes out. I can absolutely guarantee you they're going to kick the can down the road. I don't think we'll get some of the major stuff kicked past 0.2, but I definitely predict we're going to see something like that.
Weren't they supposed to release smarter Siri around 26.5?
Yeah, that got pushed back.
Yeah, none of that ever happened.
Yeah, they pushed that back to 27. They came out and said they were going to do that. Yeah. I heard, again, kind of vaguely, because I was also working and I was playing the podcast on the speaker. I don't think I necessarily like listening to podcasts on speakers in big areas. I think I got to stick with my headphones for podcasts.
Or is it where you're listening on Earshot and the audio just sucks on Earshot? Okay. Overcast?
I was using Overcast.
Yeah. I prefer earbuds when I'm listening to podcasts, because I think there's too much reverb in the room, and voices
that's actually
travel.
What was kind of happening to me, and I also didn't want to turn it up too loud because I was trying to be respectful of neighbors, and I had to blast on the table, so that could have turned into a thing. But yeah, a little too much. Now, I don't mind podcasts on the little speaker, the Stormbox 2, or the Stormbox, the original little. Yeah. Speaker.
What's that one?
That's generally when I'm like in the shower. It's like a shower speaker. And then, it's not bad. But in this big wide space with the blast, I was like, nope, I don't think I got to stick with earbuds. Music for big speakers, earbuds for podcasts.
There you go. And maybe that'll be different if you get some carpet or something in there too. Because yeah.
Well, I was out in the open space. I'm here with the door closed, so I'm going to put like carpet and softer stuff in the office. I'm not so much concerned about it out there because it's better to have the floors be bare. Makes it easier to clean and easier to roll dollies and pallet jacks and stuff around. So, but in here, I'm definitely going to have to soften the place up because it is awful. I wonder if I sound as bad as I say people sound when did they record that in the bathroom? What are they doing? But I don't know. I'm more just, I wouldn't say with WWDC that, outside of just some expectations, because I feel like they kind of have to move in this direction. I'm more curious just to see what Apple's approach this year is going to be, because they've missed the mark on a couple of things a couple of years in a row. And I would be excited if they did stuff to voiceover on the Mac. I'm not sure if I would predict such things, but I would be happy if they made voiceover better on the Mac. For sure. It seems like they're stealing all the features from VoiceOver on the Mac and bringing them to the iPhone, which is, again, very interesting for what that could potentially mean. Would you want a touchscreen Mac?
No.
What if you could take the screen off the keyboard?
So you mean a Surface Book, but a Mac?
Yeah.
I'm not a big iPad fan, and that's where my mind thinks is iPad, but with Mac OS. And I think there is something there, but for me, I don't know if I maybe, because like I'm thinking of Mail, for example, on the MacBook. Mail can be a bit of a cumbersome thing, but if I could touch a message on the left side and then touch a message on the right side and read that message right there, and then scroll down to the next message with my left finger or something like that, I think there could be some productivity work there. I think I'm getting to the age, though, where I've done everything with a keyboard all my life, so just give me a keyboard.
Yeah.
And having a touchscreen doesn't. Now, if they put cellular in their touchscreen Macs,
then I'm buying one instantly.
I'm buying two probably because I see the value in. Actually, no, I'll just buy one and take Mallory's Surface Book and trade. Yeah,
Here's a thought that I just had. So, what if there's a touchscreen now? Right now, everybody is like, oh, well, not everybody. I guess everybody's following Gurman. I'll say that. Mark Gurman has said that the MacBook Touch is MacBook Pro Touch is going to be a Pro. It's probably, I think he's now said it's been pushed back to 27. 2027, not macOS 27. And that is going to be very expensive. It's going to be more than so. The essential plan that I've gathered is that they would release this MacBook with a touchscreen. It'll be a MacBook Pro, but then there would still be your standard non-touchscreen MacBook Pros available at their kind of normal price, because these are going to be higher priced because the technology is, significantly more expensive. What I thought of, and what may or may not actually make sense when I think about it, but they kind of seem to have stalled out on the iPad is why I think this thought came to me. What if there was a touchscreen Mac and you could take the keyboard off, but instead of it being stupid expensive, what if it was crazy cheap?
Mm-hmm.
Because they basically took the guts and
of an iPad
out and put in the gut. Well, they didn't even really how to take the guts out. They just, changed what operating
iPad on
system.
a keyboard.
Well, you can already, that's what I'm thinking about, is like, you can already do that, but what if they just change the operating system that's running on the M5 Pro or the M5, the M5 iPad Pros.
Yeah.
Right. Or the M4 Air. Right. They push down, let's say, so we would maybe be at M6 by the time this thing would come out. What if it's running a M3 or M4 chip, which would make it cheaper for education? You put it on the little keyboard case that Apple likes to sell you for $300, and you got a MacBook with a trackpad, but you can take the tablet off the screen, and now you can manipulate the apps with your hands and a pencil. And then you can put it back on the keyboard thing and do terminally things, and yada, yada, right? Like, what if they go that direction instead of where everybody's like, oh, it's going to be OLED and it's going to be touchscreen and it's going to be crazy expensive. And they're like, no, we're actually going to target, because that would shift that product from being, oh, it's only for the real enthusiasts with a bunch of money to spend, down to, oh no, we just thought macOS was a better suited platform based on the success of the MacBook Neo. So in fact, I wouldn't even have to put an M chip in it, because that's not even running an M chip. It's running an A17 or A18 or something. So what if they just did that and they were like, well, instead of us continue, like, we have the MacBook Neo if you don't want a touchscreen, but we also have the MacBook, what would they call it though?
MacPad.
No, we came up with that name in DM series, and we discarded it after you said it a couple of times. I was like, no, actually, I think that's a stupid name.
Do you think they're going to come out with Mac OS or your Core OS, as you talked about years ago?
So I'm of two minds of that. I feel like either one, they're gonna slowly work their way there, and it just takes longer. And they've also gotten slightly distracted by different things along the way. Or because I said it, somebody was like, "Well, we're not doing that."
Yep.
Because it really seemed like they were headed there. And honestly, that's what they're doing. They're just not calling it that. If you look at Mac OS today, you look at iOS, you look at iPad OS, you look at Watch OS, you look at Audio OS, you look at TV OS. They all started from the same core, which is, very technically speaking is Darwin. But what I mean when they started from the same core, they all started from Mac OS. Like iOS is a very started out as a very super stripped down, butchered version of Mac OS in order to run on the first iPhone. So, and they, over the past few years, I would say maybe the past decade at this point, they have been slowly trying to bring some of those differences back, which is why we get features going across platforms so quickly now, instead of like, oh, well, iOS got these features this year. Next year, oh, now you can do continuity with your Mac. Cause it got left out because it didn't have the same, like they've tightened all of that up. They've brought their code bases back together. So essentially, I would argue that they are kind of doing that now, or they're very close to having reached the point that they started out trying to get to. They may never come out and say, and here's the new OS powering all of our devices. Like I said, they would. And like, oh, it doesn't matter what screen you're on, whether it's a, 44 millimeter watch all the way up to a, 32-inch iMac. It's all running Core OS. They may never do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I won't get my victory because they won't come out and say that. And I said they were going to come out and say that, and they didn't do it. They ain't did it yet. They may never do it. I think it's all because I blew it up, though. They were like, oh, this guy's a real leaker. We got to go in a different direction now because he's told that he's giving it away. But yeah, I think we're getting there. I'm curious. I hear that. I don't think we'll see it this year, but I do think Garmin says glasses next year. I sort of believe that.
I'm going to buy the Google glasses this fall. That's my plan is to purchase them mainly for the show and for some content.
I've been waiting on Google's second stab at this actually.
Yeah.
For the longest, because I felt like they had the best platform to build glasses on top of, starting from Android and, despite whatever they decided they want to call the operating system, it's still Android. So, I feel like they had the best platform because it would still be open. It would be open enough that we could kind of hack at it. People could put apps on it. It wouldn't be like, oh, we're so happy because Meta released the SDK. Oh, I got approved for the SDK. This is awesome. To, we ain't got to go through none of that nonsense. Also, I mean, just frankly speaking, man, as much as useful as they can be at times, still don't use them Meta glasses as much as I could because I don't like Meta. And granted, I spent my own money and I said it when I spent it. I don't like that I'm doing it. I'm not happy about it. But I needed them, or I thought I needed them. I felt like I did need them. They have been useful. They have become more useful with Ira being able to just directly, connect to them.
Yes.
Be My Eyes has been tremendously helpful there. So I don't regret the purchase for the purchase sake. I just regret that Meta was the company that was there first, and Google was nowhere near being ready to go when I did need to upgrade something from the original generation of Ray-Bans. What were those? Wayfarers. And I found the Oakleys to be very helpful. I like having the camera in the middle. And at some point I will auction them off. Like the most hated and the most used and hated glasses ever, or something like that. I'll get Claude or something to workshop that.
Put them on eBay. Yep.
Oh man, you heard about this new thing? I haven't looked at it yet, but have you heard of? I don't remember what it's called now. Whatnot. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it, I think, on some TikTok videos, but
okay.
I've never checked it out.
I downloaded it today, but I haven't opened the app yet.
I was going to ask you how the accessibility is.
Yeah, that's why I said I hadn't used it yet.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. If anybody listening has used it, send us an email, feedback@technicallyworking.show. Because I'm curious, not so much from a shopping standpoint, but hey, I got crap I need to sell. Like maybe I'll make a better profit than I do with eBay. Cause man, eBay, geez, man, they took my head off on these fees.
Was your prediction close though?
Of what they were going to take out?
Yeah. You said you'd get about 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, I just want to wrap it up real quick by saying, thanks to all the listeners who have given me feedback on given Colby and I feedback on our perspective. We're glad you're liking it. And please, like we always tell you on this show, share with someone who might also enjoy it. It's been fun to produce, and we will be back with more. I don't have cadence posting schedules because, neither one of us gave consideration to the fact that we're starting a podcast in June, and we both have heavy travel schedules in July, but we'll make it work. That's how podcasting goes. If you like it enough, you'll make it work. And also to the several, and Demasi's seen some of this because some people have been sending it to feedback at technicallyworking.show, but to the several people who have installed the beta of Test Flight and worked with me to help get some of these issues figured out. The beta of Earshot on Test Flight, and helped with, getting some feedback. Last time we recorded, I wasn't sure that I was fond of the name. I'm growing to like the name a lot more. And I just kind of threw it out there and I don't think I even told Demasi I was going to make it public, mainly because Apple never told me that it was public. And I was on a Discord call with a couple of people, and they're like, Apple typically doesn't email you when they approve your Test Flight. I'm like, what? I haven't even been looking in the last couple of days. I was just waiting for an email, and there it was. It was public and ready for me to send people to.
It was public the whole time he was bitching about it last week.
Probably.
Just sitting there waiting.
Yeah. But this has been a good adventure. There has been significant changes. We are on build 76, I think, right now, and it's sometimes difficult to keep up. If you want to get accurate feedback and you want to go directly to me when you have the app open, just vigorously shake it. And it will, the phone, vigorously shake the phone, and it will pop up a little dialogue where you can say, what was I doing and what happened? And then you hit submit and it'll send an email and you're good to go. So appreciate and I'll follow up with you and let you know that I got your email. But, it's been fun.
Two things. One, I remembered something that you told me to remind you of, which was talk about falling off Todoist. No, how not using Todoist has effed up things.
You can't say that. The words that I used. Yeah, Todoist. So long story short, I put some.
Also, hold on before we get there. Before I forget this part. Appreciate everybody that's been sending feedback and contributing to the app's development. Cause Mike is really invested in it, and it's been kind of fun to watch this transformation happen. And I just want to put on the record that I did point out to Mike maybe you want to put off starting that podcast to after convention season.
You told me two things to put off. Podcast.
Yes, he did both of them.
And
he's doing both of them. I just want to point that out. So,
Yeah.
All right. So what's happening with Todoist, man?
I had so many things in Todoist, right? And I was on a streak and everything was going great. And then I fell off the bandwagon about a week and a half ago. And I was silent about it because I was ashamed of myself that I fell off the bandwagon and I wasn't using it anymore. And then I said, well, I'm ready off, so I might as well just not use it right now. I'm just going to leave it in my dock. And every time I touch it, I'll feel the shame of not using Todoist. And then I started dropping balls left and right, like something, one of these tasks that I had in there. Someone was like, hey, can you send me these numbers? Normally I have them by now. I'm like, oh, that's a Todoist task. And then someone was like, hey, can you send me this? Normally it's available now. And just little things like that just started. I'm still not using Todoist, but yeah, my life was deeply in Todoist. And actually, maybe that should be something for me to take note of is when I rely on it and when I put stuff in it, it works well. I have a task in Todoist. It comes up in, I think April or February. I think it's actually February of 2030. And I told myself in 2020, I would be using Todoist in 2030. I don't know that I knew what my relationship with it would be like now, but that's to renew my ham radio license. But I put it in Todoist, and it's one of those tasks that just comes up. So it's lived in my life. When I have a hard time with my relationship with Todoist, it definitely does negatively impact me, especially when I start putting everything in there and then I go away from it. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's vibe code, a different app. I don't know where the friction is when I forget to put stuff in. Is it adding? I think I've tried do to tell me to go in to check off Todoist stuff, and that doesn't work. I don't have an answer right now, but that's what happened to me. It was mainly that, hey, normally I have these numbers by now. Can you send them to me? Oh, damn it. And I knew right where that reminder was going to be was in Todoist.
So first I would like to express this. Man, this echo. It's really kind of pissing me off. I just want to say that.
And your internet cut out right as you said that a tiny bit. So it was like, it's really kind of send me off.
Nice. I mean, you don't have to, finesse that. Yeah, I told you, dear listener, it's definitely going to annoy me more than it annoys you. Even if you hear it, you may not even hear it. But anyway, I want to say this first and foremost. First, I think you could be, the gamification of Todoist is fun, but it ain't the end of the world when you break a streak.
Yeah.
So don't allow the breaking of the streak to be the reason. And I'm telling you this from a person who has done exactly what you've done. Like, I was off Todoist for a long, long time because I was like, well, I broke my streak. Screw it. Whatever, man. All right. And like you said, you start noticing little things slip that weren't slipping. So there's a thing. So you definitely need a system. Now, the question may be, is Todoist the right system? Or do you still feel that it's the right system for you to use? Or should you be using something else? And just for an example, like OmniFocus, reminders, Google Task. I mentioned we should use Google Task one time in the AT guys meeting, and JJ was like, "Man, I'm gonna fire you" or something. Like he had a very bad reaction to it. And I honestly don't know why, because I've never tried Google Tasks. I was just joking. It was a violent no to that, basically, is what I got.
Like, you could have just said no. I would have been cool with that, man. But
But is Todoist still the system for you? And if it is, like, just, it's great to have a streak, dude. But the most important streak is that you wake up every day. Like, tomorrow you're going to wake up. Like, okay, we kept that streak going. Let's keep that streak going. Screw a Todoist streak. Because listen, things are going to always happen. Like, you had this happen when you went to
CSUN.
Yeah, right. And you just forgot to put it in, like, whatever the mode was in the thing, right?
Vacation,
Whatever.
yep. What is it about Todoist, though? And I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Like, do you feel like that is still, like, is your beef with it that you broke your streak, or are you actually having an issue with Todoist? And you may not have the answer to that question today, but what I'm asking is, like, you obviously, we all obviously need the system, right? We need calendars. We need this. We need that. We can, but it's okay to change your system, like to change the app that you're using, to change the service that you're using to provide said thing. You, for the longest time, I don't know if you're still doing it. For a long time, you were using Outlook on your phone, which was weird to me. And you still prefer Outlook on the Mac, I think, which is weird to me.
No,
but if
I
it
can't
works,
stand
then
that
it
crap.
works. But
yeah, I gotcha.
the question is, with Todoist though, like, okay, you need a reminder system, but is Todoist still that tool for you today? Or
Right.
is there something else out there that already exists? Or do you need to build a thing? Or do you just need to build a thing on top of Todoist API? Because maybe it's not the system, it's the app.
The interface.
It's buggy sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a question worth thinking about. It's a question worth for everybody to think about. Like, you could be using the app, you could be using a service, and it met your needs when you started using it. It solved the problems and it handled it very well. And maybe your friction today isn't that. It's you that is the problem. It's like, well, maybe I've outgrown this in some, unknown way until you really put some thought into it. And I'm saying all of this because I'm also thinking about the same thing. I have fallen off to-do-list, and I realized there's a lot of stuff I didn't do. Now, part of my problem with to-doist, I will say from my perspective, is this. I do not get notifications every time that I should get notifications. And they don't stick. Like, I am seriously considering it. I'm probably going to do it over the summer because I probably will end up on the beta at some point. I am going to absolutely wait for other people to install it and then tell me if it's broken horribly or not.
And then he'll still wait
Mike also
a few days because
maybe it depends.
Maybe
it depends. I mean, it depends. It depends. I mean, I do have a blind shell over here I can always fall back to. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking about trying out reminders for a little while. On iOS, because they've done a ton of cool stuff to reminders that could be useful. It's
and
easier
this is before 27, obviously. So who knows what else?
Yeah, what else they're going to bring into the mix. The only thing that I miss, and sometimes it doesn't even work for me, mostly that's because dictation kind of sucks a lot of times, especially with my AirPods. Speaking of AirPods, remind me to tell you about the AirPods. But the natural language input for Todoist is the main attraction to me, right? Like, that's the main thing that attracts me to Todoist. That's one of the main things. It's not enough to necessarily make it stick, right? Because one of the main things I loved about OmniFocus is, at times, at least, I don't know about now, but at times their iOS app was super great. The Mac app was all right. The iOS app was super great. And they had a thing that made sense in my mind that everybody else seems to think is ridiculous, which is a defer date, which means I know today that I'm going to have to, I don't know, clean the gutters. Right.
You need to pack for your convention, but you don't need to worry about it right now.
I don't need to worry about it right now. So when I'm looking at my list or looking at my tasks, that's a good thing. Thank you. Because I'm not absolutely not going to clean the gutters.
But you need to pack. And there's two times when you need to pack this summer. And you're going to pack a lot of the same things.
Yeah. But I don't need to look at that when I just go look through, hey, what do I have available to do? Or what is up for me to do right now? I don't need to see packing lists because then I'm going to shove it down the list or do something stupid, right? No, I just need that to pop up on, say, June 23rd, June 23rd. And then persistently tell me from June 23rd forward that you should start packing. So I don't, hopefully, which still would probably happen, but hopefully I don't wait until July 2nd to actually start packing when I'm flying out on July 3rd. Now, we all know that this would probably still happen, but I would have planned the packing in my mind well before that. So when I started packing, I wouldn't forget anything. I do realize that is a thing. Like, do you do that? Like, cause I noticed that you have the tendency to pack the night before too.
Yep.
But I wonder if you notice the difference when you have thought about that packing to where you're like, I know what I have to pack. I'm just not going to, I'm not doing it until I actually got to do it. But you tend to leave less stuff, if anything, when you, at least for me, when I think about it and have kind of mentally planned what's going to happen when I pack versus is like, oh crap, I got to pack.
I'm traveling in the morning at 3:00. I need to throw everything in my bag right now. And
then either you end up with a bunch of crap that you didn't need, and then you left your toothbrush.
Yep. For me, it's the razor, but yep.
Oh man, I gotta find another razor. These sons of anyway. Let me tell you about these AirPods. So, did I tell you about the AirPods already?
No.
I didn't tell you about AirPod Pro 3s?
No.
Not at all. Okay.
No.
Because if I told you personally, I wasn't going to bring it up on the show. But since I didn't tell you personally.
Do you have AirPod Pro 3s now?
Well, I had them, but I never really got to use them because I said, here, Tia, you can try these out. Because she's like, I think I want to try those again because they haven't updated the Beat Fits Pros, right? Those are her favorite Apple earbuds, were the Beat Fits Pros. Those are little bitty ones with the little wings. And she has the Beats Pro Plus, whatever, the little over the ear ones with the little hook, like, well, not over the ear, the little earbuds that have the over the ear hooks that like go behind your ear, hook behind your ear, hold them. She has those.
Yep.
Right. But they're not her favorites. And I gave her those because I tried them. And I was like, it feels like I'm doing too much just to put a damn earbud in my ear. So it's here. So I was like, hey, you can try these out there because they're new. So, you can see what they're like. And also, if you decide that you wanted a pair, this is what you end up getting anyway, because I don't think you can find twos anywhere. So, ain't no point in you trying my Pro 2s. And yeah, Mike, I ain't seen them since then. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no empathy.
I bought them on
None
sale
at all.
at the Costco.
I got a pair for my birthday,
Apple
and then
Care.
I ended up having to get another pair. So I don't want to hear it.
Wait, what happened?
Mallory wanted a pair. Yep.
Well, see, I don't really know how to say anything to you about that other than, you got your pair for your birthday though, and they were yours. She didn't take your pair that you bought for yourself, and you were like, I'm going to have these for summer. Yeah, see?
Yeah, yep.
It's just the fact you had to turn around and buy her some, which is making, you feel a little salty. But hey, you still got yours. I ain't got none.
Yeah.
And the sale has gone off at the Costco, so there's no more
Oh, no, we got them on
$50
sale at Costco.
Yeah, see, I got mine on sale at Costco because they were mine. The sale is now off, so I can't just go buy another pair. Here's a tip for people if you have a Costco, though. When you buy Apple earbuds, I don't know about anybody else's, you can check, but Apple earbuds come with the Apple Care included. So keep that in mind when they're on sale.
Yep.
I will be watching for them to go on sale, I guess, because I'm not paying $250 for them. I've never paid full price for a pair of AirPods, and I'm not going to start now. But all right, good show, man. Good show. There's another thing you told me to remind you of, but I couldn't remember what it was. The Todoist thing popped out. See, if I would have been using Todoist, I would have put it in there. But that's another thing. Just quick side note. So. Also, think about something, not necessarily you specifically, but I think it's worth saying this to people because I made this mistake in the past for like putting the dumbest things in my Todoist, like in my task manager that didn't really belong there, and then it junks it up. So, maybe some house cleaning every now and then too could be helpful. Right. If you want to remember a link, find somewhere else to stash it instead of just throwing it into Todoist unless it's like a thing that or your task list of choice, unless it's something relevant that you need to do. Like, oh, here's the link to that form that I must fill out by this date. Otherwise, they're going to repossess my car or something. Deal with that. Yeah. All right. So we've done a little predictions of WWDC. So we've talked about a lot this show. I think it has been an amazing show. It's been a great show.
It has. I've only just got distracted at the end of the show with trying to troubleshoot podcast stuff.
So you should tell your friends about how great the show was and that they should also listen to the show because it is amazing. We want to thank everybody that listens. We appreciate all of you that have shared the show. We appreciate all of you that have given us feedback. And we thank you for continuing to go on this journey with us. And there wasn't even that much AI this episode.
There wasn't. Yeah. See,
I told you we're
getting over AI.
Work it out.
No,
I told you. I just mentioned last week that not every show is going to be about AI. See, I kept my word. There we go. All right. So you should keep listening. Anyhow, feedback. You can send us feedback. You can use the email address, feedback@technicallyworking.show. He's on Mastodon at Payon, PAYOWN at dragonscave.space. I am Damasi, DAMASHE at technically.social. Yeah. And the bot is TW at technically.social. And I'm not even going to tell you next week I'm going to have the bot doing stuff because you know what? Every week I plan to do it. And man, listen.
Life.
Yeah, man. Listen, I ain't even been in my server account to go do a thing, and I just wanted to set up Hermes and have the bot do stuff. That's all I wanted to do, man. I didn't have big ambitions. It was just like, hey, here's Hermes. Hermes, meet my bot. All right, you guys work out some stuff. That's all I wanted to do, man. That's all. But hey, the bot will come alive soon. I'm not going to even give you any dates on this. Because again, every time I plan, seems like every time lately when I plan something, it's like, oh no, that ain't gonna happen. This is gonna happen. Haha. Anyway, hashtag technically working on Mastodon also
Mastodon
is a way to bring us into that conversation. Well, I mean, that's the only place it works because the Federation is not completely federated yet. So we'll see if that ever happens, actually. Thanks to our tip jar supporters. We appreciate every last one of you. You're going to allow Mike to buy whatever he said he was going to buy.
Google glasses.
For the show. Yeah. Wait, are you buying the Google branded glasses that they're making, or are you buying the Samsung glasses? Or
the Google ones, the ones that they're partnering with Warby Parker for.
Okay. Yeah, I might get those.
Yeah, they got to be stylish if they're partnering with Warby Parker, is my opinion. Like, I don't know what the Samsungs look like, but
maybe I won't get the Echo frames. I'll just wait for the Googles. Anyhow, thanks everybody. We appreciate it. This has been Technically Working episode number
166.